Hey everyone, PushingUpRoses here and welcome back to my art channel. It's been a little while. So today I am doing a video tutorial on a painting I had posted in several Facebook groups, and it is this one. It is my little drip painting. I wanted to make something that looked really modern. As you can see, the sides are not touched up yet, but this is fully dry. I will just touch up the sides manually. This one turned out so well, and I wanted to recreate that for you guys so you could see how I did it. Maybe you could do your own style of this drip painting or choose your own colors. So for this particular painting, I am going to be using the DecoArt Fluid Art Ready to Pour paints. And the reason I'm doing this is I cannot be arsed to mix my own paint right now. And this is the perfect consistency for this particular type of drip art. I haven't found anything that even comes close to this consistency for this type of painting. It works really well. If you don't want to buy the DecoArt, what I recommend is mixing up paint that doesn't create cells. So pure Floetrol probably wouldn't work for this type of thing. You don't want any cells, but what you can do is I've practiced with Chris Jezik's recipe before, which is also Dan Hodge's recipe, and that is a mixture of Floetrol, glue and water, and polyacrylic. Floetrol on its own, I probably wouldn't recommend. If you want to mix your own paints to get it to this kind of consistency, I definitely would recommend a medium that you know is not going to result in any cells. So all I'm doing right now is straight out of the bottle, because we want to save the earth. We don't want to waste too much plastic, right? So right out of the bottle, right onto the canvas, I am just layering black and white. I am not going to the edges because I am going to tilt those off. Now, this is not going to be, what am I doing there? Look at what I just, why is that so far away? I don't know what I was doing there. This is a 6x6, just like the other one, by the way. And I did run into some trouble with this painting because I actually ran out of white paint, which is why the end result is not going to be the perfect replica. You're going to see how I do it, and it's going to get pretty damn close. But look, I'm already kind of struggling with it, and I was shaking it to get the paint out, and that was resulting in bubbles. So I did kind of flail around getting my lines down. Which you'll see in the speed up. I'm going to speed up this section, but that is literally all I'm doing. I recommend doing it a little more carefully than I did here, but you know, ran out of white paint and I was filming, so I was a little bit nervous, but I did my best. Let's speed this up and we will reconvene when I'm ready. Okay, I gave this a quick torch before I started tilting. You probably saw me flailing a lot. I usually don't flail that much, but since I was going straight from the bottle, I didn't want to use too many plastic cups because the plastic cups I can't reuse, but the bottles I can refill and reuse those for different things, for different paints and water and stuff like that. So that's why I wanted to go straight onto the canvas from the bottle, but normally I would be a little more careful with laying the paints down. So as you can see, I am just tilting up and down. That is actually going to straighten out your lines pretty significantly. So just up and down, pretty harsh angle there for tilting. And then you can touch up some of the sides, but to be honest, you can touch them up as your last step as well. That's what I do when I do these, is like I try to get them pretty good on the sides, and anything that's tilting off onto the silicone mat, which is a Loli Vefe silicone mat. It's amazing. Anything that is dripping down, I can actually use that for the sides of this canvas. I know it looks like a lot of paint is tilting off, but in reality, it's actually going down these these wider sides. This is a gallery wrapped canvas. It's about 1 inch wide, so it is clinging to the sides there. Watching this back, I am disheartened by how not consistent my widths are. In the original painting, the lines are very close to being the same size, but like I said, I was doing this as a tutorial. You know, I was a little bit nervous. It seems like every time I turn on the camera, I can't do the painting that I want to do. I'm overthinking it. I'm getting really minor things wrong, but trust me, this will still suit as a good tutorial. You're gonna get a similar result even if you mess up your lines. Oh, good. That's a good idea. Yeah, so this is where I really started to flounder. Make sure you have enough paint when you're doing these lines, because you're just gonna end up with a goddamn mess. Look at me. And I shook the bottle, which means there's gonna be more air bubbles, which means I have to torch more. I don't know what I was doing there, but I'm fixing it. I'm trying to fix it. Ugh, Lord. Okay, I got it looking as good as I think it's gonna look. My first and second attempts were way better than this, but I am going in with a little bit of red paint now. I'm just using a small paper cup, but I actually recommend using a squeeze bottle. My squeeze bottles are all currently filled with paint. I ordered more not long ago, but I'm trying to be really tedious. I'm squeezing the paper cup so that it creates just a little tip. And what I'm doing is I'm just adding my own drips. Now, I tried something different here. I don't know why that occurred to me. I'm trying to do a tutorial, so I don't know why it occurred to me to just try something different, but I tried to add a little circle, like a little round drip manually. That was actually a mistake. What I have found is you actually want these drips to be as straight as possible, because the round bottom of the drip, that will form on its own when you're tilting. So I also had a little mistake there. I didn't quite get to the edge, so it looks a little strange. Not my best work, but you get the idea. This is more tedious, and like I said, I think if you do have squeeze bottles instead of these paper cups, which worked well enough. I actually used the paper cups for the original piece that I showed at the beginning of the video. They do work. Just be really, really careful and go in with confidence. You know, my hand started to shake there, but the more confident you can put your line down, the straighter it will be. Just go for it. Just go for it. So those are my drips. I started out, you know, personally, I wanted my drips to be uneven, so I started out with a longer drip, and then I slowly went up as I got to the edge. And generally when they drip, they are going to form different shapes all on its own. They're going to probably drip unevenly anyway, but this is how I decided to do it. And now you just tilt at a harsh angle. And yes, it is going to take a little bit of time because I tilted a lot of the black and white off of my canvas. I made sure the paint was hardly moving so that when I dripped down, it wasn't dripping down along with it towards the end. So see, look how cool that is. When the red and yellow go through the lines, because they were barely moving, they create these perfect little borders, these round borders around. And as you can see, my drips of yellow and red, they weren't perfect. They weren't as perfect as the first time. And you can tilt backwards a little bit like I'm doing here, but I don't recommend that too much because you don't want the black and white to get squiggly and you don't want the drips to get squiggly either. So you can do it a little bit if you want. For my personal taste, I really enjoy letting the first few drips go off of the canvas and you have those really sharp bordered drips, and then I like the final ones to be closer to the top. As you can see, my yellow up there was way too close to the red. It kind of tried to drip in with the red, so I would do that differently. And because my black and white, they were kind of uneven, that second line of white, that's a little too wide for me, but you get the idea. You know, if I was working a little longer on this or a little bit more careful with laying down my lines, that would have been way more even, just like the first one. But this is the look, and it actually worked pretty well. I'm surprised because I kind of messed up the drips. They look more like spears going through. But had I not put an uneven amount of paint towards the bottom of the drip, had it been just a straight line, you know, no uneven weights, it would have worked out way nicer. You wouldn't get that spear look. You would get the look like the original painting that I showed you guys. So yeah, I think this painting went pretty well. It gives you the idea. It's not as good as the first one, but it's pretty damn good. It gives you the illusion of the dripping. I like I actually like displaying these on the side so that it looks like it's dripping to the side, but you can do, you know, a lot with this. That last black line, it's not very straight. I might actually touch that up manually. And these are very easy to touch up manually because it's all really solid colors, no shading, no cells, so they are easy to touch up just manually with a brush. You can either pre-paint the sides, either black or white, or you can do it in post if you want to keep the drips that are going down the bottom. I think those are really cool, actually. So, yep. This is the piece. Let's go in for a close-up, and thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this was really helpful. I can't wait to do more with this kind of drip work. I really like the modern art look. So I can't wait to do so much more with maybe different colors and definitely different sizes. I started practicing on these small little 6x6s, but I do have some 8x8s, and eventually I really hope to get to a 20x20. So hope you enjoyed it. I hope you liked the art, and I'll see you in the next one.